Doesn't matter how many people are here. Your life and my life are worth changing. So it's lovely to be here in Port Hawkesbury. Thank you for inviting me. And we'll get started. Together we will make a difference. This is going to happen because of people. People say, well, Tim, thank you very much for doing this, but it's us as a group that are going to make this happen together. What is MS? Well, everybody in this room pretty much knows what MS is. Okay, I won't go through all that because I think we're there. Impaired mobility, chronic pain, all these things. You can see them: depression, loss of bowel and bladder control. My wife and I had a code. If all of a sudden I disappeared, she didn't have to wonder where I was. I went out to the car because I usually couldn't get to the washroom in time. That's humiliating, degrading, and we don't need to be put through that in Canada. Impaired speech, I used to speak. I'll look at the camera. I used to speak like this. Many people with MS talk like this. That immediately went away. My neurologist from Halifax called me up and said, Tim, did that really work? And I said, it absolutely worked. And he says, I can hear it in your voice. Your words are right there. He had me for 18 years as a patient. He knew. The suicide rate for MS sufferers is 7 times the national average. Wonder why that is. Depression. It's a very depressing disease. The last 5 to 7 years of my life, I laid in the bed for 20 hours a day looking at the ceiling, watching my grandchildren grow up. It's tough. Our mission. Our mission is very simple, one statement: to make CCSVI treatment available in Canada now. If that happens tomorrow, I'm done. I can go home. I believe it is going to happen in Canada. I really believe that. I wouldn't do this. What's the sense? But we really believe it can happen. What is CCSVI? We know that. And doctors, I'm moving ahead a little bit because I want to get into when I have a little group like this, I can get into a little more personal things. I want to share with you a little bit about what my life was before the treatment. And it's probably similar to what you people have been through because I've been talking to you. The first 15 years after I was diagnosed with MS, you can't tell it. Can you tell by looking at me that I have MS? Oh, you can't now. And for the first 15 years, people couldn't tell either. But I still had fatigue problems, I still had bowel bladder problems, I still had numbness in my hands and legs, I still had these things. But most people couldn't see it. But the last 7 years, since I've been diagnosed, my life has taken a nosedive. And every year around the fall, I go to the hospital. And when I have a relapse, I'm in the hospital for at least 2 months every year. And flat on my back, can't walk. My body finally just says, it falls on the floor and says, that's it, I'm not doing it anymore. And the last time I was in 2009, I was in for 3.5 months. And a nurse came running in my room one day and said, Tim, you've got to come and watch TV. There's a doctor on there named Zamboni that's on a W5 show, and you've got to come and see it. Well, I said, okay. So they picked me up, put me in a wheelchair, wheeled me out to the television show, and I watched for the first time the W5 show. And the nurses said, that's exciting. Are you going to check it out, Tim? I said, you can be sure. So I checked it out, and I was released just before Christmas, and I went home, and I couldn't even stand up. But I think I was released a little soon. But I got home, and it was nice to be home after 3.5 months. And I called my MLA. It's very important for us to talk to our members of the legislature, members of parliament, and keep pressing them. I like what John said, that we're going to get this done because we work together. And we have to share with the Canadian public and the members of parliament and legislature that this has to be done. And I'm an elected official in New Brunswick myself, so I know what it's like. And John said to me one time, he said, the prime goal of most elected officials is to get re-elected. Well, think about it. That's probably pretty correct. And I will not vote for somebody that says this procedure doesn't work and we're not going to supply it. Why vote for somebody like that? They're there to represent us. I know there's many other diseases. I know there's other things that are equally as important. But nothing's more important than human life. when this is all boiled down, what comes out of it is people. It's just people. And doesn't matter how much it costs, doesn't matter the political stripe, it doesn't matter government, doesn't matter pharmaceutical, doesn't matter all these things. It's people's lives. We talked about that, Clifford. That's the most important. So I went to Albany. Dr. Mandetta was the doctor. They laid me on the bed and they asked me to be quiet, and that's tough to do. Be quiet. Because I'm laying there, I'm just thrilled that I might be able to have relief from the MS symptoms. And I can remember laying in the clinic, in the operating room, and the doctor said to me, "Tim, we have found blockages." And I said, "Yes." And he says, "We're going to fix that right now." So he did. I didn't feel anything. Some people have pain. Did you feel much? No? I didn't feel anything. And so I shared, he told me it was done and they wheeled me back out. And after I was asked to lay there for a little while, I stood up and I did this. My wife said, "How do you feel?" I said, "Oh, sure." I said, "I can do this now." Got my balance back. And she said, "That's not the only thing you have back. The color's come back in your face." And she knows that because my face was very pale. My neurologist said that every time she saw me, she said, "Tim, you're pale looking." And immediately the color came back. Doesn't that make sense? The blood started flowing, the color came back in your face. Went home, and within a couple of days, I noticed my fatigue level had gotten a whole lot better. Instead of 20 hours a day in bed, I got up at 8 o'clock in the morning and stayed up till 8 o'clock at night. And that was immediate, within a couple of days before I could tell that. But I was standing there thinking, well, maybe this is placebo effect. Maybe the doctors, are not all wrong. Because there are some things that are placebo. But this has been 10 months since I've had the procedure. And guess what? I can still do this. I still have my energy back. I have my cognitive issues back. They're gone. And I'm kind of pleased. Nobody can tell me this doesn't work. Can they tell you? They can tell you, but it just doesn't work. It just doesn't stick. You know it works. You have experience. We've experienced firsthand, Stephanie. And we're pleased that it does work. So that's why we're here. We want to share this with you, with everybody else, and let them know that this does work. And what's our mission? Is to get this CCSVI treatment available in Canada when?
Now.
Right now.